How do I start this thing again? Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma. Am I?
I'm James. I'm slightly confused that I'm recording with Gemma, but it's obviously a good sign that she is able to give us the time and is healthy enough to be able to have a chat with us. So, Salty Tadpoles, think yourself incredibly lucky.
Yeah. Reunited and it feels so good.
It does. I just hope it feels all right for you as you're a bit under the weather.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was going to say, yeah, with regards to what James just said, I'm still feeling utterly crap. But at the same time, I'm missing recording massively. And we were discussing before we even started recording that I don't think we even know how long it's been since the last time we actually physically recorded together, is it?
It's been a while. It could be a month, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it feels longer than that, but yeah.
More.
Yeah. But yeah, so just in case anyone wondered, we are still on this podcast together. Neither of us have booted. Yeah. Neither of us have been booted off. James has been rebooted a couple of times in the early days, but otherwise it's all good. So, well, actually, before we get into sort of how we've been, I just wanted to do a quick bit at the beginning of the show, if I may, about basically I had a loss this week, and it's also a lot of other people's loss as well, and it's unfortunately it's really tricky because I keep wanting to call him a friend of mine, and we were kind of electronic friends, so to speak, and you know, he was always supporting me with regards to like this project and stuff like that. And we always both spoke so highly of each other. So in that sense, we are friends, but we only met once. Although technically that's the same for me and James as well. But, you know.
That's not true. We met twice.
Oh, I do apologise. Yeah. So it was quite a big loss. And to my fellow friends in the Garmy, so the people that listened to the Ralph Report, and it was, obviously, I haven't even said his name yet, so that's great, isn't it? But Steve Ashton sadly passed away last Thursday. So, you know, and he had some very bad complications with a stroke that he had. And sadly, the initial incident, he was found, after he'd had the stroke, he was found like a couple of days later. So, you know, the damage had been done already. You know, it was really bad, but we all thought that he was on the road to recovery, but sadly, yeah, he did pass away. So yeah, don't know necessarily whether it's complications to that or whether it was actually, you know, well, we don't know what it was. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, there was times when he was an absolute asshole. There was times when he was, you know, a really good, nice guy. He was a really nice guy. James, unfortunately, never got the opportunity to speak to him because he's been on the podcast a couple of times, but it was kind of, I arranged it when James wasn't available, you know, so Steve would sort of jump in occasionally and fill the shoes of James. But, you know, it is a sad loss. And I've been quite saddened by it, to be honest. It's one of those things that it's kind of like, you know, when it touches you and you kind of feel like you want to cry, but you don't cry, if that makes sense. And also you kind of feel a little bit like, well, you know, we weren't massive friends in life, you know, in reality, so to speak, IRL, but we would sort of support each other, and we would, you know, we were always kind to each other. I mean, yes, we had little fallings outs from time to time, but then James will tell you, me and you have had falling outs from time to time, haven't we? But
I'm saying nothing on that.
No, but you know, the same thing will be said. But it is a massive loss, and there was actually a GoFundMe set up. Or I should say as well, my bedroom window's open, so sorry everyone, but it's hot. But there was a GoFundMe set up because his children are only about, I think they're 15 and 20, so they're not very old at all. But they had to arrange, obviously they're having to arrange the funeral and whatnot. So he put up this GoFundMe because they're not able to access his estate at this stage.
Yeah, it'll be knowing from when people have died, it can be quite tricky to access to funds.
Yeah.
So it can be a very difficult thing. There's a lot of people have to go through. Sometimes it's easier than other times, but obviously, yeah, it can be quite a long-winded process.
Yeah, especially as like obviously they're so young. He was, I think he was 55, something along those lines. So he wasn't overly old either. So they wouldn't necessarily have put, things like that into place, would they? Like the lasting power of attorney and stuff like that. So anyway, they created this GoFundMe and Ralph Garman shared it amongst all of us in the listeners of the Ralph Report. So we're still called the Garmy. Well, they wanted $5,000 so that they could give him like a pretty decent like funeral and whatnot. And last time I checked, it was at £27,000, James.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. I mean, that shows how kind of loved and respected he was, really, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I didn't know, know very little about the guy. I've never had contact with him, but clearly people liked him. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was just because it was a sad situation as well. But, yeah, so, and I know James, like James just said as well, that, you didn't have the opportunity to sort of record with him or whatever. So this is just purely coming from myself because James hasn't really got much to interject to it, shall I say, not interact. But I wanted to say for a couple of minutes anyway that, it is a sad loss. If the funeral's open to the general public instead of it being like a private affair, then I think, me and Owen Edmonds have actually discussed that we may see if we can actually, attend it because, we were both very close to Steve. So, but, it's been a bit sad, but it also makes you realise that life goes on as well, doesn't it? So
true, and it's that thing if you never know the hour. So
yeah, exactly. And just at that moment, a seagull was flying by, going quack.
I thought I could hear something.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I've got the bedroom windows open at the moment because it's a bit of a scorcher. So I'll leave the Steve chat there, but we'll sort of get into a bit of the funny stuff now. But it didn't feel right not giving a little nod to him. So how have you been, James?
I've not been too bad. It's I'm between projects because my work that I was doing previously, the contract's come to an end, so I'm looking for other stuff to do. But I'm trying to keep myself reasonably busy. I've started going back to the gym again, so that's been good. So as long as I don't cause any damage to myself, like tearing my shoulder muscles again, I should be okay. But yeah, it's not been too bad. A couple of weeks ago, I had a family friend staying, so that was always nice. Then one of my old work colleagues just spin by and say hello. So yeah, it's been pretty good in that respect. It's been enjoyable, and being British as ever, we've had the constant ever-changing weather. It's either been rainy or sunny.
Yeah,
and we're hitting a sunny spell at the moment, so that's always good. But more importantly, how are you?
Wow. I said this off mic, but I'm one level of shit. I'm a level of poo with a big dollop of shit on top at the moment. Is how I'm feeling. But the
chef special.
The chef special, yeah. Still unable to talk. And yeah, a side of bogey pie for dessert, I think, really. So yeah, so
delightful.
Yeah, and to be honest, I haven't massively been up to anything. It's pretty much been work and then sleeping. I've been watching an awful lot of telly, so I will give you my TV reviews, and there's probably a couple of programs, or at least one anyway, that I know we can discuss together at least as well. So, but yeah, it's so literally at the moment. That's, I have been, God, I sound like I'm absolutely moaning. I know that I'm the queen of moaning, don't get me wrong, but, it's normally comical moaning, and this is negative moaning, so I'm sorry. But, not recording has really kind of got me down quite a bit, and James knows this, as I told you earlier, didn't I? Mm-hmm. And those seagulls are driving me nuts. I have to go and get a shotgun.
But at least you've got the seagulls to keep you happy.
yeah. And of course, Mr. Socks. Mr. Socks always makes me happy. He's still running around like a nutcase, so it's all good. I'm just going to actually go and shut my windows because the seagulls are driving me nuts. Okay.
To be fair, I would expect nothing less from Socks.
No, exactly. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Hold on. Right, the fuckers have been locked out.
Yeah, they're certainly noisy, aren't they?
They are. It's because there's babies now as well. So, yeah, they're all sort of like trying to take flight and stuff like that. So the parents are calling them to say, come on. Come on, Megan, let's go fly. I don't know why Megan.
I was going to say you've named them.
Yeah, no. Megan was the first name that popped into my head. Hello, okay, Steve. Come on, Steve. Steve the Seagull. I'm Steve the Seagull. I'm flapping about on the roof.
As you pre-guessed, Tadpoles, the lack of recording for Gemma and interaction on the podcast, her brain is slowly on this precipice of craziness, but we'll power on.
We'll power on, definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely, I think my mum and Graham are sick of me because normally I would get all of the craziness out on the podcast, but they're like, okay, this is even crazy for us. So,
oh dear.
One good thing I did, actually, thinking about it, is that Graham had a birthday a couple of days, about a week ago again. And we went out for dinner, which was really nice. Yeah, I had this massive portion of macaroni cheese. Oh, I really fancied macaroni cheese. So as soon as I saw it on the menu, I was like, oh my God, yes. And it came in this massive bowl, and I was just like, oh, get in my face.
I would hope it'd be getting your belly, but I think I understand what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it needs to get into my mouth first, so get into my mouth, I guess. But yeah, no, it's when you just really fancy something, and then it's like it's there and it's available, and you're like, oh yeah.
Or alternatively, you really want the food, and then you end up having it. You end up having remorseful guilt.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have eaten it. It's something that's bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not great for me anyway. But with regards to it's like high in calories or whatever. But at the same time, if you go out for a meal, why have a salad when you go out for a meal? It's supposed to be a treat night.
Very true. Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, and also another good thing as well, it's all flooding out now. Over the last year or so, I've lost about 2 stone.
Wow, well done. Would you like some from me? Because I can definitely spare some.
No, I've still got more than enough to get rid of, so that's that's no problem at all. So I'll keep hold of what I've got for the time being. But yeah.
But no, well done on that one.
Thank you. So James, have you got any Codswallop at all?
I do. I had one that I've remembered to tell you, and then I had a second one that I seem to have, it has escaped me what the second one was going to be, but I have got a major one, which is obviously, as I said, I've been going to the gym again.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that, in the gym is the idea is that you're supposed to actually, be in there and exercise. And I understand if you might take a moment to, say, glance at your phone to maybe change a track, or if you've got a tracking, like a workout system in there on your phone, you might want to have a look on that. The inherent problem I've now found is that because the school holidays on, the gym is full of, kids/teenagers.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they do at least get on with their exercises, but there seems to be a large number of them who basically just plant themselves down on a machine and then on the phone or chatting to the mates, and they're not actually doing exercise. And it does get really annoying, because if you want to get to your next set, it impedes that happening. And even if you kind of chivvy them along, they still seem to spend a bit of time doing stuff. So it is a Codswallop, but I found a way of actually this will be new ones, tadpoles. I've actually found a way of solving the Codswallop, which is this. So the last time it happened, I couldn't get onto the machines I wanted. So finished my set, because I mainly was doing cardio, walked home, grabbed some food, and then thought, actually, you know what? I'll go back to the gym and see if I can get back in and do my weights. And lo and behold, that's what I ended up doing. I got in, as pretty much had anybody in there, did my weight set, got a bit more cardio in, went home. And the beauty of it, if I have to do it again, is the fact that I'm still getting that walk to and from of extra exercise home and some more, exercise when I get back to the gym. So it's a codswallop that has almost resolved itself to create something positive.
Yeah.
I know. I feel weirded out by it too.
Yeah, no, to be honest, codswallops never had to be a negative thing. So it's, codswallops initially instigate the problem and then it's like it can resolve itself, so, but also it is based around anger, which, I did put up a poll recently, didn't I, to see if James and Andy having their codswallop was just as angry as I would normally be. And yeah, they just sound like everyone voted that they sounded like grumpy old men, apparently.
See, no one can ever be as angry as you. That's the thing, Gemma. Such rageful.
I know. But the problem is I do it with a smile on my face. So nobody ever really knows if I'm being serious. I am.
I do remember what the other codswallop is. So
yeah, see,
I had to get my car serviced, MOT'd, etc. Went through, no issues, touch wood, there'll still be no issues. So I go to pay, put my code in to pay with my card, doesn't go through. Do it again, doesn't go through. So you've got no other option at that point. What went wrong, Tadpoles? What went wrong, Gemma? Can you guess? I'll tell you what went wrong. I rushed out the house.
I was going to guess. Can I guess?
No. Okay. Go on, have a guess.
You were putting the wrong PIN number in, or you were using your Tesco's club card.
Dementia hasn't hit me yet, so I'm not gone to using the club card or like your library card. It was the wrong PIN to the wrong card. The problem I had is that I'd only taken one card out with me, and in the rush of everything, of course, your mind goes blank. Now, again, this was actually a solvable codswallop, so all hats off to the garage. I said to the guy, I can go home and come back. And he went, nope, no rush. He goes, just come back tomorrow and pay then, which is what I did. But of course, when I get back home, all the information comes flooding back that I needed to have with me at the time.
Yeah, that's it. But that's a good sense of like you're trusting your customer and stuff. I mean, I'm guessing you pretty much go there all the time, do you?
Well, not all the time, but when required, yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was there all the time. I've been worried my car was a death trap.
No, what I mean by that is that, when you have to have your service and MOT, you go to them guys. So they've obviously built up a rapport with you, which is really good. So, and they trust you. I don't know why they trust you, but they do.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, my blabbering helped you to remember what your second codswallop was.
It did. But what is your codswallop? Strap yourself in, Tadpoles. I think it'll be a good one. Yeah,
I too have two. So that's probably not good English there, but never mind. So my first one is, it's kind of the local area it affects. So,
okay.
Yeah. Where I live is a place called Wyke. I won't finish the end of the town. I don't want to give everyone the full information of where I live. Most people know it anyway. But anyway, it's kind of like a little. It's really hard to explain because it's basically like a road or like a little village type thing that's in between two major towns. So you got like Portland and Weymouth, which are the major towns, but even for most people, they're actually pretty small. But anyway, so it's kind of like this tiny little area in between. And so every summer, obviously, when it gets lovely and warm, you've got your windows open, you're letting the air flow, which is lovely, which I had earlier, but, seagulls ruined my moment. And I'm painting the picture here. All of a sudden, you get hit with this awful smell. And it smells like rotten vegetables with eggs on top. And it is vile. It is utterly vile. And it's nicknamed the Wyke Whiff, which is why I told you where I live.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the most putrid and horrible smell in the world, and nobody seems to take responsibility for it. Like like Weymouth Council, or environmentally, people and stuff like that. Nobody seems to want to take responsibility for this god awful smell. It's so hard to kind of like explain what it smells like, but it is just so goddamn vile. It is. And so, it's a hot day, so you've either got to keep your windows open and deal with this smell, or you've got to shut your windows and deal with just sweating. And it's horrible, James. It's disgusting.
It's, again, the double-edged sword, stinkiness of sweatiness or the horrible smell outside.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the sweatiness, you can put deodorant on, so that's, that's an issue, not an issue.
Has this happened regularly?
Yeah, it happened.
I think I've heard about this. I honestly think, as soon as you mentioned it, I thought, I'm sure I read about this. There's been this aroma that they just cannot get to the bottom of what's causing it. Yeah, this rings a bell.
Yeah, I think we covered a story about a different whiff. I can't remember the location of it, but so it did sort of sing true of the area that I live in as well. But it's yeah, I don't know if it's ever been publicly announced or whatever about. It smells like is it not sewage? Well, it kind of is like that, kind of toilet waste and this
sounds delightful. Yet this is a real selling point for anyone who wants to move to the area you live in.
Yeah, absolutely. The Black Death started here in the UK. We've got lots of chalk drawings of a naked man and a horse riding the wrong way. And we have got Bargegate, is a popular feature where I'm sick I was going to say I'm sick to death of hearing about Bargegate, to be honest. Nobody, I don't even know what my own opinion is about it anymore, because I just feel like I'm being inundated with so much information about it. But anyway, we got a refugee barge, and now we got a stinky stink. So
yeah, you live in an area that I'm getting the impression you must have been like cursed by somebody in the previous previously many years ago, maybe some sort of medieval curse upon your area.
We must have, because it is the area between Portland and Weymouth, and Portlanders and Weymouthers, don't know really, Portlanders and Weymouthers, they are renowned for fighting. So you never know. Oh
dear.
Yeah. So we're caught in the middle. So.
If your crops all wither and die suddenly, it definitely is that you're cursed.
Well, we seem to be all right on the garden front, but yeah, we haven't got any. We haven't got any crops, so yeah, I wouldn't want to eat them anyway with the smells that are coming out anyway. And then my last. Sorry.
I said, dear me.
Yeah. I feel so much better now I've been recording, by the way. I mean, I don't. I feel crap still, but, just in case.
You feel crap. Where you live stinks of shit, but, you're feeling somewhat better. That's positive.
Yeah, exactly. And my last Codswallop is, again, it's not going to have a little bit of a backstory to it as well. I popped into town today during my lunch break, and I just went and picked up a sandwich. Went to Londis. Other shops are available, but that was the one I went to. So I was checking out the rolls that were there, and I was like, nothing really took my fancy. And then I saw sausage and egg, and I was like, oh, I really fancy that, So I went to pick it up, and then I was like, oh no, that roll feels a bit, it felt a bit weird. So I picked up the one behind it, and I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Anyway, sometimes it just feels a bit, maybe it's probably not stale, but it just felt a bit, anyway.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. There was a reason why I didn't pick up the one that was in my hand. And so I drove off. I went on to a nice quiet destination so I could just sit and have my lunch in peace and quiet for a bit. And looked at my roll. And, the look of disappointment that came over my face must have been, scary
One
to
for the
anyone that was
ages.
around. Huh?
One for the ages.
Yes, one for the ages. Because the sandwich that I'd picked up was not, in fact, sausage and egg. It was bacon and egg. And, the little bit of backstory is I don't particularly like bacon.
Whoa, 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 whoa. But wait, you don't like bacon? No. Oh, whoa. Hang on. This is a life-changing moment for me.
Yeah.
My God, somebody doesn't like bacon.
No.
I don't know if I can ever be on this podcast again.
Oh, well, you at least need to do another recording this week, and then, we'll talk about it. No, there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, if I'm really in the mood for bacon, I'll eat bacon, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But today I wasn't in the mood. I was in the mood for a sausage and egg sandwich. So, first of all, that's biggest disappointment in the world. Second of all, I find bacon quite a bit salty, and I don't particularly like overly salted food. And the other thing is that when I was younger, a bit of the bacon fat got stuck down my throat, and I actually nearly choked. So all of that kind of association is all there. So, yeah. And I was absolutely starving, hungry, and I had to eat it. And I was just like forcing it down my neck, going, I was so disappointed, James. And, but, I also felt really sick as well afterwards. I was just like, that was worst sandwich ever. Why did that happen to me?
I'm sure there's starving people in other countries, so really.
Well, yeah. I mean, I that's kind of why I ate it, because I was like, well, children in Africa, as I used to say to my nieces, but,
There's also an important thing that you can learn from this. Always look at the label.
Well, I did. Do you know what it was? Because it was in the same section. So I was just like, all the other rolls were exactly the same. So I just assumed. And yes, it made an ass out of me. But it didn't make an ass out of you and me.
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen to you, that you get the wrong sandwich, I'm hoping that remains to be the case. That's the worst thing that happens.
Well, today, anyway.
That's the spirit, Gem.
Nobody saw, but I did a fist pump in the air. So, I was... Well, actually, before we get on to it, I know we've kind of briefly discussed what you were doing with your job, but was there sort of anything else that you wanted to sort of indulge in, or is there
not that I can think of?
No. You just want another job now that is exactly the same, so that you can have the fun again, sort of thing.
Something within that ballpark, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice to wake up every Monday and be like, a bit like the Reed adverts or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, it's Monday! Oh, I'm excited that it's Monday," which nobody ever feels like, even in their dream job, I don't think. But so, shall I get into what I've been watching recently?
Yes, please tell me, and I'll see if we cross paths at all.
Yeah, well, I know we have with the first one. Recently, I watched Black Mirror, the latest series. Mm-hmm. And so I know that me and James have both watched this. And there were certain episodes that I really enjoyed. And then there was, during the time, during watching them, there was a couple of episodes, the first two, I think it was for me, that I actually didn't really enjoy quite as much as I normally would with a Black Mirror, episode. But actually, on reflection, they were actually quite well filmed in a way, because it was like all about taking people's identity and people signing over their lives, and it's almost like it's like the robots. I can't think what it is, but it's like what they're saying that the writers, they're going to start using.
Oh, the AI.
The AI.
About AI.
Yeah. So it was a bit like that. So actually, on reflection, it was kind of. Actually, I thought it was actually not too bad. But yeah, there was the other episodes, from the space one, where they went into space, but then they were sort of, I don't know. It's been a while since they've seen it. So
yeah,
James,
I mean, the thing that I found with Black Mirror is it generally. I mean, I'm not as and engrossed in them as a lot of people are. But I've generally found them reasonably enjoyable. But I've got to be honest, on this last run, I found a lot of it it was a letdown. I wasn't that impressed by it. And the final episode of the entire run, I could not even tell you what the final episode was, because I just could not get interested in it at all. It just didn't do anything for me. I don't know, maybe it's the problem that people are expecting rather a lot of it now.
Maybe.
And there's only so much they can come up with, but I don't know. Yeah, it was okay, but it will not set the world on fire for me. Some of it was watchable, some of it wasn't. I enjoyed the space episode. That was good.
Yeah.
Quite enjoyed the werewolfy thing. But as for the others, yeah, they're okay, but...
Yeah. Well, actually, the last episode was actually a film.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, because it went on for about an hour rather than like the normal length of episode, which is probably 40 minutes. Actually, just not much. Yeah, but I think it was an hour and 25 minutes or something like that. But the last episode was basically this girl who was she's a goody two shoes basically, but she also was bullied for her heritage as well, because she was an Indian. And you know how sometimes unfortunately the racial behavior can happen and stuff like that. So and it was also set in like the 80s, I think, so it was quite ripe in those days, wasn't it? Being...
I'll have to take your word for it, so I never saw the episode. So.
No, I mean the 80s, like from a historical point of view. So there was this girl, and like I said, she was like quite an innocent person, but she had to kill 3 people. Otherwise, if she didn't kill 3 people, then the world was going to explode. So it's quite funny that you said about the world exploding. And and it's just like you watch her as she gets driven mad by the fact that, like if she doesn't do it, then it's going to be like the end of the world, and literally the end of the world. Yeah, so she's got 3 days to kill 3 people. And yeah, she gets arrested for the, sorry, spoiler alerts to anybody who actually wants to watch it. But she gets arrested, and she's trying to tell the story of what is going on, and nobody's, of course, believing her because, why would anyone believe her?
They just think she was mad.
Yep. And then it clicked over just past midnight on the 3rd day. And what happens next? You'll have to watch. There was a big boom.
I'm still not going to watch, but...
No. No, so, it was quite interesting. But again, it was kind of one of those things that it didn't massively grip me. So, yeah. I watched it because I'm a completist rather than...
yes, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was trying to do it. I thought I'll watch them all. And I remember when I was at work, whenever it was, I think the day after I'd seen them, people going, oh yeah, we want to get around to watching them. I said, well, I wasn't that impressed, but tell me, I hope you enjoy them. So
Yeah, exactly. The other programmes that I've been watching, have you seen Good Omens yet, the 2nd series?
No, it's just not my... it doesn't work, when I've seen the trailers and things. I just don't think it's going to be. It doesn't really grab my attention. I know people like it, but it's not something I think I particularly dig. So but people do seem to really like it. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I've watched the series 1, and obviously this was series 2. So it must have been good, because otherwise they wouldn't have booked a series 2. But I won't go into detail massively with that one because it is quite newly out there. But I think it's a little bit of silliness. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like there's like the semi-serious plots, but it's kind of just a bit tongue-in-cheek and a bit silly. So, and it's light-hearted as well at points. But there was also a couple of like, not emotional, but, there's almost bits where you feel a bit like, oh, moments, kind of thing, in this latest series. And, so I really enjoy it. And I pretty much love Michael Sheen and David Tennant. So I think they're great in everything. So, can't fault that programme, really. What else have I been watching? What else have I been watching? I got it all written down in front of me. What a doofus. I watched Hannibal. I think I've discussed that before.
The TV series, yeah.
Yeah, the TV series. So I finished all of that. That was amazing. It was honestly, if you love like Hannibal Lecter or Silence of the Lambs, whatever. But there's some amazing nods to that in that TV series as well. So sorry, this is literally the only thing that I've been doing, guys. So sorry that I'm just listing off everything that I've been watching, but but I am nearly at the end, so bear with. There was another program. This was on Sky, so you may be able to find it in other ways if you haven't got Sky TV. My hearties, with the pirates.
A brain's broken people. Have sympathy.
No. Yeah, it's a program called From. It's really quite an interesting concept. So basically, again, this is the second series of it, but there's people that come into this town, and then if they see like a fallen tree, then it means that they're going to get stuck at this town. And they obviously, at that point, they don't know. So, there's this massive group of people. They're in just this one isolated spot. It's kind of a bit like Under the Dome, if you ever saw that. Did you see that?
No, I've not. And I don't think I've even heard of this show, so...
What, From or Under the Dome?
Under the Dome, kind of, I think I might have heard of that, but From, it doesn't ring any bells at all.
Yeah. Well, it is brilliant. So if you can find it anywhere, I would recommend you giving it a shot. So basically what happens is, so like I said, this group of people, they're all gathered in one spot. Halfway through the first episode, so it is a little bit of a spoiler, but you find out that people have all come from different locations. Say they've come from New York, Kansas City, or, if those places are nearby, ignore that. But, they're all coming from different directions, going to a different destination, but they all end up at this one place. And it's really sort of like, it's really kind of creepy and stuff like that. So they're all stuck at this place. But then at night, there's these kind of like monsters in a way, but they look like humans, but they have these big, massive smiles on their faces. And they're really, really creepy. And they basically, if they catch you, they're going to, torture you and kill you kind of thing. So it's like, fairly good horror kind of thing. But at the same time, the storyline is quite gripping as well. You've got some cheesy moments in the storylines, but there are, a lot more of the sort of gripping stuff to actually watch with that. So, yeah, I'd check that out. It's From. James has currently gone away. Why has he gone away? Does he not love us anymore? Where have you gone? James, where have you gone? Okay, well, in the meantime, what I'll carry on and do is I'll talk about the other programmes that I do. I've been watching, or I'm currently watching at the moment. So I wanted something a little bit cheesy, which is I'm currently watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I realised that I hadn't watched all of the series of that. So, James is back. Hello. Where did you go? Hello, you've muted yourself.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Where have you been?
Yeah, internet just suddenly dropped off. Don't know what that was all about.
Well, I did. I did sort of do a little bit of like, hello, where are you? Have you gone to watch From?
Where were we? Sorry.
I actually don't know. So I did a bit of filler and I finished what I was talking about with From. So you'll have to listen to this week's episode if you want to find out. But no, I was just saying to the Salted Tadpoles, the other two programs that I'm currently watching, so is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I've realised that I've not actually watched all of those episodes. So, I've watched an awful lot of them, but I really enjoy Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Again, it's just a little bit of cheesy. You can watch it, it's 20 minutes long or so, and it actually takes longer. You can watch like 4 episodes and it's only been like, a couple hours or whatever, so Yeah, I needed something a bit lighthearted.
Well, it's stick your brain in neutral kind of thing, isn't it? And just enjoy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but also, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is also quite funny as well. So
it is funny. Yeah.
There's been a couple of really laugh out loud moments, that I didn't have in like Seinfeld. So I gave the time and whatever for that, So
there's no accounting for taste. So.
And the last program that I'm currently watching, so this is actually like we're watching as a weird family unit, I guess. But the dog.
Wait, hang on. Are you saying you watch it as that you are a weird family unit, or the thing in general is a weird thing?
No, we watch it as a weird family. So basically, I watch it with my mum and Graham.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of It's always hard to sort of explain that kind of thing, isn't it? It's like stepdad. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So this other program that we've been watching is called Manifest, and it's really, really good. James, you need to check it out if you can.
Yeah, I've not heard of it, so.
Yeah, make a note of it right now. But I'll also message you and let you know what it's called again as well. So it's a little bit weird in the viewing sense for this program, because at the moment not all series are over in the UK. So this is a big popular program in America. But on the UK Netflix, there's series 1 and series 4. Which makes absolutely no sense. Why not put the other 2 series on? But anyway.
Just keep me guessing.
Yeah.
So when you watch series 1, then you get series 4, you're like, what's happened?
Yeah. Well, it is, like I'll explain a little bit about it in a minute, and that, that connection actually is quite funny as well. But it's but what you have to do in the UK is, and I'm guessing it's something to do with like licensing or something like that. But so Netflix UK has got series 1 and series 4, and series 2 and 3 can be either found on Now TV or Sky. So again, we've got Sky, so that's it's quite fortunate. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting a bit out of breath now. I think I'm talking too much.
Okay.
But this program. So I'll tell you about the pilot episode. So the first episode, you've got a family group that they're all about to travel home. I think they say that they've been to Jamaica, so they've been on a big massive family holiday, and then you get an announcement from one of the airline stewardesses saying, we've overbooked the flight, we need to, if we pay you £400 per person or whatever. So there's a couple of the people in the family who jump at the chance of doing that, because they're like, oh, it's 400 quid, not going to sniff at that.
So they're paying them off to get off the flight, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a flight that's a bit later on. So the ones that are sort of hanging around, they're all sitting, waiting to get on the flight and this, say goodbye to their family members, blah, 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 blah. So it's their time to leave now. So they get onto their flight, and while is kind of filming the flight, there's a lot of like turbulence, and there's like a lot of juddering, everything. Everyone feels like it's going to crash at that point, and then it doesn't. It suddenly stops. It's all good, and they arrive at the airport. Obviously a bit shaken and whatnot. Turns out when they arrive, it's 5 years later.
Ooh, time tunnel.
Yeah. So it's like it's trying to work out. But then when they've arrived, so obviously all their family members are all like either, some of them are dead, some of them have, like if they were engaged, they've moved on to marry somebody else, because it's been 5 years. But there's also a weird bit as well, because there was this two twins. One of them was on the flight that was, the first flight, and then the second one was on the second flight. And so the twins are now 5 years difference, because they're exactly the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so surreal. But then the other thing is that they keep getting like these thoughts and messages in their head of their own voice telling them something.
Okay.
They're like, oh, you know, you need to, I don't know, go save them or something like that. And but you hear it when you're actually near the location, you know. So save them, and you know, you let them go or whatever it is, and you're trying to sort of like work out what it is. But yeah, it's really, really good. I do really, really enjoy it. So
it sounds good. It sounds like a weird one, but it does sound good.
Yeah. And so like I said, it is actually quite funny that series 1 and series 4 are on Netflix, but you know, so in that sense, you know, it's jumping forward in the years. But yeah, it is really good. There are some mighty fine cheesy moments as well, though, sadly, which it kind of gets on your nerves a bit, that it's the same family saving the day all the time, and it's like, oh well, what about all the other people on the flight? You know, what are they up to? But yeah, so there's some bits that you kind of have to go, oh, just look past, and then there's other parts that are really, really good. So yeah, I've been absolutely enjoying myself with all of the TV watching that I've been doing, and
good.
That's my life so far, guys. So, and here we are today.
I watched a truly awful film, but it didn't intentionally want to be, called Heart of Stone, with Gal Gadot and Jamie Dornan and various other people. It's like a spy. And
okay.
The push, from what I understand, is they were saying that they thought they could make it like a next Mission Impossible kind of style series with Gal Gadot as I can't remember how to pronounce her surname exactly, as the lead. And it was every single spy cliche you can imagine in this film. It was basically like it was trying to be, it was, you know, taking elements of James Bond, taking elements of Mission Impossible. And if you treated it, the conclusion that was, it was Sean and I kind of like, he watched it where he is, I watched it where I am, and we kind of like kept in communication, making notes. And we came to the conclusion that if you treated it as a comedy and just laughed at it, it actually wasn't so bad.
Was it supposed to be a comedy, or was it supposed to be serious?
God, no. We just worked out the base. If you treated it as like a parody, it actually was. I found myself laughing out loud at parts. We're going, that is the most cliched thing you can possibly imagine.
Oh no! Oh no! But
it was terrible. It was awful, but it was funny.
Yeah. So what was that called again, so that people can avoid it?
Heart of Stone. No, I advise they watch it to see if they find it as funny as I did. Heart of Stone.
So you like to punish people as well, then? So, like, you think I'm grumpy with my Codswallop?
No, we've not punished them enough listening to the podcast, so I've just got to add that extra twist of the knife.
Yeah, guys, this program's really good. Touch of Stone or something like that.
Yeah, Heart of Stone. You'll love it, honest.
Okay, guys, check it out, all right? Yeah, do it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, if you've had a bad day and you feel you need to punish yourself, that's the one.
Well, personally, I don't know about you, but I'm beginning to flag a little bit now, James. So, should we finish off with some stories of the week and call this a good episode of giggles?
Yes, we can. I'll have to let you go first. I've lost my stories of the week through a technical error. But 1 minute.
No problem. Right, so my story this week is Anaconda. Oh, hello. Oh,
hello.
Sorry, we're having technical issues here, and now it seems to be fine. So the aliens are obviously causing problems here. Anaconda, or Loch Thames monster. Ooh, man makes a bizarre find in River Thames.
Interesting.
A mad thing has been spotted in the River Thames, and it's got everybody talking. The passerby, sorry, brain needs to function with mouth. The passerby posted a photo on Reddit of what appears to be a reptilian face with a red eye poking its head out of the water. Saw a mad thing in the Thames just now. He appropriately captured the bizarre photo. Several commenters offered up theories on what the creature or object could be. One person joked, "It's the famous Thames anaconda," while another suggested it was the Loch Thames monster. A third remarked, "It actually just a rock with a bottle cap resting on the surface," while another was convinced it was a wooden post with something red inserted into it. So
Okay.
to be honest, I'm kind of with the third person, really. I think it might be a rock with a bottle cap on top.
Yeah, I think the chances are high.
Yeah. Some pointed out the 5-foot-long snake skin that was found on the banks of the Thames last year. So there's a chance it could be a snake. I didn't hear about that story. I don't know if you did.
Don't think so.
No. The skin, thought to be the boa constrictor, was discovered by London mudlark Jason Sandy. Now, do you know what a mudlark is?
It's a bird, isn't it?
No, it's, I mean, it might be. You also might be true. But I only know this because Graham keeps watching them on YouTube. So, and also it's kind of cool anyway, but it's people that basically go around in certain areas. They're digging up for sort of treasures and things like that, but they're all digging it up in like the mud and stuff. And so if they find any sort of gems or whatever, then they're allowed to actually sort of keep them. So that's, yeah, there's a big thing about it on like YouTube. There's loads of people that seem to be doing it. So yeah, so there you go. Every day's a school day, James.
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed. You didn't even know that you wanted to know that, did you?
The more you know.
Yeah, well, there you go. And now the Metro is about to tell us what it is. So let's see if I got it right. A mudlark is someone who scavenges, searches for things in the river mudbeds for items that could be worth something. Jason posted his find on Instagram saying it felt like he was mudlarking along the Amazon River, not the Thames. In 2021, the first full health check of the River Thames in 64 years found sharks, seahorses, oysters and seals were living in the waters. The poor bastards. I mean, you know, couldn't they have gone somewhere else? I mean, it's disgusting, the River Thames, isn't it?
It's not be the cleanest of places.
No, definitely. I'm surprised they didn't find loads of dead bodies in there and stuff like that as well, but...
Oh, I'm sure if you search far enough and deep enough, there will be bodies. Although it can't be that, that unclean, that polluted if those things can live in it, so...
Yeah, I suppose. Well, man, they've just adapted to it, but yeah. It was the first time the river had undergone a proper review since being declared biologically dead in 1957. The Zoological Society of London, the ZSL, said the water was teeming with life. The Thames supports over 115 species of fish, 92 species of bird, and almost 600 salt marsh, a crucial wildlife habitat. Okay, this is the filler, isn't it? Okay, no, that's the end.
It can't be too dirty then. It cannot be too bad then. If it can, can house that many different species, it must be reasonably tidy and clean.
Yeah. So, which I think everybody, including myself, is surprised to hear, because I always considered the Thames water to be disgusting. So, because there was that time that I think it was David Walliams, wasn't it? He decided to swim it.
I don't think he was in the Thames, but...
I think he was.
Who knows?
Well, somebody was anyway. I may have got the wrong person, but yeah. But anyway, yes. So what story are you bringing us, James?
Well, I'm sticking with an animal theme. Mm-hmm. So, passengers on an Iraqi Airlines flight were delayed after a bear managed to escape from the cargo hold.
I saw this one as well. I was like, nah.
The the animal was somehow able to get out of its crate just as the plane was about to depart from Dubai International Airport on Friday. It was headed to the Iraqi capital of Baghdad, but the arrival time was reportedly pushed back an hour after travellers were asked to disembark while the bear was dealt with. The aircraft crew worked with authorities and specialists in the United Arab Emirates to sedate the animal and remove it from the plane. Footage shows the big black bear being handled through the gap of the plane's open cargo door. Iraqi Airways says it wasn't to blame for the bear's escape, insisting that procedures were carried out in accordance with the law and standards approved by the International Air Transport Association. Now the Prime Minister, Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, has ordered an investigation into how the bear escaped. The airline has initially said the bear was being flown from Baghdad to Dubai, but it confirmed on Sunday that it was actually the other way around. The company has declined to say who owns the animal. Keeping predatory animals as pets has become popular among the wealthy in Iraq, especially in Baghdad. Authorities have struggled to enforce legal provisions to protect wild animals, and Baghdad's police have previously called on citizens to help by reporting sightings. They are worried about dangerous animals being let loose on the city streets or ending up as exotic meals in restaurants. And that's the end of the article. God bless you, Metro. So well written.
Yes, thank you, Metro. We have missed you. Maybe, maybe not. We've missed mocking you. Let's put it that way. Well, James, I think this is another fantastic episode in the bank that, both me and you have done. It's great to be back talking to you again, my friend.
Same here for you. I'd just like to point out...
Just as a second thought there.
Yeah, go on. The anaconda or Loch Thames monster, I've seen the picture. It looks more just like a rock to me with a bit of something stuck to it.
Yeah, with a bottle cap or something like that. Yeah, there's definitely... I can see that if you were looking from a distance, it might, might be sort of like reptile-ish in look, but yeah, it's not. It's a rock with a we're debunking the theory on this podcast. I'm sorry, everybody.
And just look at it this way, Gemma. As bad as you may feel, as bad as Salty Tadpoles may feel listening to some of our bizarre stories, no one can feel as bad as the ghost who has been married for less than a year and has now been ditched by the woman who married him.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Right, you can't leave it on that. You're going to have to tell us the story.
Oh, God. So, a singer who claimed to have married the ghost of a Victorian soldier says she's getting a divorce. Brocard, 40, of Oxfordshire, said she met the spirit of Eduardo one stormy night in 2021 when he burst into her bedroom and immediately professed his love for her.
Oh, no.
Just to point out, people, most normal people realise this is somebody with deep mental health problems. But anyway, I'll carry on. They supposedly then became inseparable, with the ghost even sending her cryptic messages in the shower. But it didn't take long before cracks began to appear in the otherworldly relationship. Bricado previously claimed herself and Eduardo had argued over their wedding date. She said, "I want a summer wedding, but he hates the heat and I'd secretly love to make him melt, but he disappears often enough as it is. For weeks, we got nowhere with it, so I'm going to design a Ouija board of wedding dates to see which we are both drawn to. I swear he's turned into a complete groomzilla, and his list of demands grows daily. Eduardo always had a temperamental nature, but the nuptials seem to be bringing out the worst in him." The singer also claimed the spirit often took issue with her discussing their relationship publicly, though this didn't seem to stop her from appearing on This Morning and posting the wedding ceremony on Instagram. After the marriage was officiated, my first question is, who in the right mind officiates this wedding? Bricado also complained they'd fallen out over Eduardo getting too drunk during their honeymoon in Wales.
For God's sake.
In the months since, she claims the spirit had become increasingly possessive. Oh, very good. His apparent fascination with Marilyn Monroe appears to have proven a further obstacle to marital bliss after Bricard, or Bricado, or the hell you pronounce his name, claims to have spotted the spirit of the late Hollywood actress at the chapel. She told Wales Online he would routinely disappear and then emerge days later smelling Chanel No. 5, Miss Monroe's favourite perfume.
Ooh.
Bricard announced the split with the release of the latest track. Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe she's not mental, maybe she's smarter than all of us combined. She's done a wonderful PR stunt. I'm going with she's far smarter and not mental.
Yes, I think so too, and I think we need to get a Reddit page because everything seems to happen on Reddit. So let's do that. Right, well, James, don't go looking for any more stories because I want to finish this episode now. So, but that was a good one.
It was a blinder.
It was. It was invisible.
It was
the naked eye. Well, James, I think that this has been a great episode, and I think that we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I've been James.
And I've got a slight croaky voice now, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.